Hello, my darlings. Do you know, there are some things I just never learn. Every time I sit down to do our little video, welcome to this week's coffee break, by the way, I go to push the record button, but my finger pushes the flip camera and I look at the other side of my room and go, why did I do that again? It's like that neural pathway forms. And even though it was the incorrect action, that neural pathway is still formed to make me push that button. So I just share that. Hi, welcome to this week's, oh, a card just flew right out. So I guess that's going to be our card this week. I will talk about that in a minute and I love it for us. How are you doing? I hope you are really looking after yourself. It is absolutely peeing it down here. The winds are going crazy, so I hope the weather's not too disruptive for you, the sound on the window, etc. And today, I sat down to meditate this morning and I had to put my ear protectors on because the sound of the weather and ambient house sounds and kind of like went into my little zone. And I always have the intention of receiving what I'm gonna bring through in our video because I never know. I have the intention to make the space to come and talk to you and see what comes through. And so I did my little meditation and I was in that space, and what came through was hardly surprising to me in a way, because it was about the movie Wicked, and that is my PDAers current special interest and a hyper focus in this household, especially the songs. And we went to see the movie, she's seen it twice, and a little while ago, and I just think it's fabulous, by the way, which is nothing to do with what I was going to say, but I really did think it was a good movie. If you haven't watched it and you're wondering, I thought it was a really good movie, assuming that you can cope with musical movies, which I know is not for everybody. So that aside, that's what came through for me. And it was the song Defying Gravity, which, if you're moved by these things, is an extremely moving song and an extremely moving concept in the movie. Very empowering moment. And I was really, had that sort of song and that awareness coming into me. And then I was thinking about how the character at the start of the movie really has this wish, has this desire to not be green, because they stand out and it's ostracised them and attracted bullying and all kinds of difficult things. And, they just don't feel like they fit, they don't feel beautiful, all these things. And so their greatest heart's desire is to not be green. And by the end of the movie, you see them, really shifting into this empowered state of being who they are in their authenticity and being empowered in who they are and realising how much power they had. I can really feel my energy like really going as I'm talking about it. And then I had a little nudge about the original movie, The Wizard of Oz, which I don't know really well. I have seen it, but a really long time ago, so I don't know it really well. But, Dorothy goes on this whole big journey, doesn't she, with all these characters and the Yellow Brick Road and the Munchkins and everything, meets the wizard, and the wizard turns out to be a whole load of misplaced hope, I guess. Wasn't necessarily delivering in the way that they thought the wizard was going to deliver. And again, she's finding that sort of sense of power that she has inside herself. And there's the old ruby slippers have to click together to go home, but actually it was that awareness that, is it Glinda in that, I'm not sure, that says you had the power all along, my dear. Actually the power was inside her. And it was taking me on a train of thought, this awareness about how there are lots of things that we seek outside ourselves that can be beautiful and take us on that journey, that Wizard of Oz journey. And so there's nothing wrong in it, and there's nothing less than in it. And they're all beautiful experience, whether it's gaining knowledge from a book, working with a practitioner. I have lots of things around in my healing room crystals, essential oils, you know, all these things. And they are beautiful tools. And I include in this, what I bring to you, EFT tapping, they are beautiful tools that can support us and take us on this journey we're on. They can walk alongside us, we can enjoy them. But it's really important that we remember that they are not the thing that is going to change us, that is going to transform us. Actually, any power we're looking for is us, is already there all the time, ever present. And in that awareness, I had a personal nudge, which I'm going to share. I can hear my voice just cracked as I went to this, so I know this is something that I am clearing. And I'm going to share because it came through in the moment, and I like to be present in my authenticity and vulnerability with you, because we are on this journey together. And what came through for me is that ways that sometimes I filter, or I think filter's the right word. I don't know, hold back, but filter the power that I speak with in terms of my beliefs and the concepts that I'm refocused on in my life, particularly what I would call my kind of spiritual beliefs. And I filter that a little bit, although I'm sure you relate to me being that person in so many ways. I don't completely filter it, obviously, but I do hold back sometimes. And I was aware in that moment of having some conditioning around that, of training as a counsellor, and, you know, really being asked to, I'm saying this in a very blanket and simplistic way, but to kind of to be a mirror for other people rather than bringing myself and my beliefs into the space. And I also have a conditioned filter, which comes from, it's kind of a codependency thing, which is something which I'm building to making a video about, kind of a codependency awareness that making some kind of subconscious assumption that not everybody wants to hear this stuff or is ready to hear this stuff, you know, and there's a power imbalance in that, which I don't like. I don't like owning that. That feels really uncomfortable. But, you know, that awareness came through, like, actually, maybe the people I'm speaking to, you guys, who are often in a challenging time, you know, could feel quite challenged by some of the more higher divine spiritual concepts that I hold true to my authentic being. And so there's like a, you know, a rescuing in that, isn't there, which is a codependency thing. So owning that one. And what was the other one I really wanted to bring in, and now it's gone? When these things are uncomfortable, our minds can, they'll come back in a minute. I'll go to the cards, and then if it comes through before the end of the video, I will share. But yes, I was really feeding into how we how the power, the knowing, is already entwined in our being. And the tools we have, the relationships we have, the resources we have can all support us to getting to it. But ultimately, we have to step into who we are and what we know and align with that new vibrational expression of who we are if we want to truly experience something different if we really want to defy gravity, you know, we have to step into that authentic power that we have, that we are, that we know. And I think that was maybe what was wanting to come through and just came back in that moment was, you know, that all these wonderful things, including EFT tapping, can really support us in getting there. But we can only ever get as far as we are ready and willing to embody. You know, when we step into our truth and allow that space for things to fall away that no longer support that truth and that story, these tools can really help us. But if we stay in that lower vibrational state, hence the reason that this challenge came up for me about the language I use and the spiritual concepts, because talking about stepping into a higher vibrational state is quite a woo-woo sort of spiritual kind of talk, isn't it? And yet it's how I live my life, is to acknowledge when I'm, you know, actually keeping myself in a lower vibrational state out of fear, out of anger, out of hurt. All this stuff we do to protect ourselves as humans. And actually the challenge is to do that, defy gravity, to rise up, to be that rising phoenix, to shift ourselves to a different state. And it can feel really, really uncomfortable, because in that place we can feel really, it can feel unfamiliar, and it can feel like we're hyper aware of all the ways we're not that on some level. And yet if we can find that deep down knowing of, I am this person who has the resources that I need, that has the knowing that I need, that is the love I need, that receives the answers and the support that I need. I think I've repeated some of those because I've lost my track of thought. But, you know, when we stay in that place, the stuff that we are ready to and needing to let go will show up, and we are invited to see that as being the gift rather than the lack. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not helpful to me anymore, you know. And actually then we can use the tools, like, for example, I talked about crystals and essential oils. They have a higher vibrational state. They can help us to focus our intention and keep our vibration. You know, they're a wonderful focuser. But ultimately, it is down to us to be willing to do that healing work, that release work, that shift work. And all those things like the EFT tapping can really support our nervous system and really support us in making those shifts. They're amazing. They're wonderful. I use them all the time. But we are the ones that do the change. It is down to us, essentially. Right. Cards. And I love this because I'm having a really big ass talk today for some reason, and the card is bring humour into your life, just completely grounding us and inviting us into laughter and fun and play. That is the place that we do our healing work from. That is the place where we raise our vibration to. You know, using all these words I'm using, I know I have a terrible habit of doing it. You know, it can sound very serious. I know I can have that habit of making it very serious. So this is a beautiful invitation for me, and I'm really glad to be bringing it into this space. It is a lightness. You know, I keep coming back to defy gravity, but if we want to rise up, you know, that's light, isn't it? That's the, you know, the broomstick, the helium balloon, it's the air, it's the lightness, it's the playfulness that we want to invite ourselves into. And that's why the healing work that I always talk about is always about letting go of that baggage, letting go of those weights, letting go of the past, you know, and being able to be in this. Let's have a read of the card and see what it's got for us today. Think about whether you truly have a sense of humour. I'll let you be the judge of that. I'll let my daughter be the judge of mine. Not. Healing is enhanced with humour, and laughter can lighten almost anything. I've got a friend actually who does laughter yoga, and they actually intentionally go into laughing, which at first is pushed, and then it really releases this energy. I've not done it, but it sounds amazing and quite an experience. Your goal is to bring humour to everything that causes you stress, as this is one of the most empowered responses you can have. Well, my dear PDA parent family, if you do not have life opportunity to bring humour into stress, I don't know who does. So I hope you can enjoy that. I hope you can find the lightness and the laughter and the fun in the extraordinary, in the complete chaotic beauty that is your family today. I would love to hear about anything that flows up for you with that, because I would really enjoy that very much. I'm sure we all would. So if you want to share, please do. Let's do a little bit of tapping before I go. See what comes through. Okay, just following along with me. If you've never done this before, don't worry. You're in safe hands. Just follow along with me. It's very easy. Tapping on the side of your hand and saying, even though, it's hard to be light about stuff, I love and accept myself. Even though I think I've lost my sense of humour, I love and forgive myself. Even though I'm really not sure I'm that funny, and I'm really not bloody sure this is funny. Doesn't feel very funny, and I love and accept myself right where I am. Even though this doesn't feel funny, I choose to bring the lightness anyway. Even though this feels really unfunny and hard and serious and heavy, I choose to look for the lightness in the stress today. Even though this feels really big and important and heavy and serious. I look for the humour in little moments to relieve the stress. Even though it doesn't feel very funny, I choose to laugh anyway. I choose to laugh anyway. Even though I don't feel very light, I choose to let that go. Okay, my beauties, thank you for being here with me today. Have a gorgeous Sunday and a gorgeous week. Lots and lots of love to you. Where will you find me this week? Let me think. Well, of course, in Peace with PDA, our Facebook community, PDAParents, we really welcome you there. In that space, I show up on a regular basis on a Wednesday to offer Reiki to the group. So if you'd like to receive Reiki healing, and there's a bit of information in Peace with PDA in the pinned post if you want to read more about what that even is. On Friday, I pull cards from this deck that you just had, and people choose those and we share those and have a chat. And then at the weekend, Friday evening through to Sunday evening, we have basically our virtual coffee morning where we just hang out and chat and connect and be together. And it's a beautiful group, beautiful people. I would love to have you there. If you're feeling called to dive a little bit deeper with me and the community that feel called into that space, we have our membership space, which is called the Freedom Centre, and we are welcoming new members in now for February. So if you want to come in for February, now's the time to give me a shout. There's a membership fee for that, and you receive membership to the Facebook community that links you together, and we have a connection midweek, and then we have a weekend Zoom call where we get together and we do this work. We do EFT tapping and we do this personal growth and expansion work, and I'd love to have you there if you feel ready and called for that. I also do one-to-one work with, what's it called? I don't know, video call, online, worldwide. Woohoo, I work worldwide. That sounds so fancy once upon a time, doesn't it? I work on videos, so I'll work with anyone. I'm not fussy. That's another way of saying it, isn't it? If you feel called to work with me, I have availability, which my end tends to be around evenings and weekends, because it's basically when hubby is not working and is with Miss PDAers, so that I can be free to come and be with you. If you would like to hook up a parent support session, please just give me a shout and we can do that. If you're a member of Peace with PDA, I offer very affordable rates to make this accessible for you. And so just anytime, no pressure conversation. Reach out if you want to know if it's the right thing for you, how I work, what I do, and if it's the right timing for you, then I'm happy to discuss that with you. All my love. Bye.